The movie starts with a woman named Anita running. She lives with her husband Hassie in a fancy house. The next day, Anita begins her new temporary job as a sports teacher at a school. She arrives late to her first class and says sorry to her students. She introduces herself, and the students share their names. That evening, Anita talks to Hassie and asks how long he will stay in Frankfurt. He says until Friday. After talking, they go to bed. The next morning, while Anita is bathing, the doorbell rings. When she answers, she finds flowers at the door, but no one is there. Later, during a training session at school, one of the students, Marcus, tells Anita she looks good, which feels odd to her.
Bra jobba, Marcus.
After the session, Anita and a colleague see students causing a scene. They find Marcus fighting with another boy. Anita helps Marcus with his injuries, and he says he's fine. While talking, Marcus suddenly kisses Anita, but they are interrupted and he leaves quickly. That night, Anita checks Marcus's Instagram and messages him, saying they should forget what happened and that it was a mistake. While messaging, her colleague starts chatting with her. Marcus replies with an inappropriate photo, which Anita finds funny.
Hva skjer? Det morsomt? Si det da.
Nei, bare...
Ja, si det da. Hva det?
Nei, bare en venninne som tullet.
Hva det som tullet med da? Si det.
Later, at home, Anita sees flowers on the table. She asks Hassie where they came from. He says he found them at the door earlier. They both wonder who sent them but don't think much of it and go to sleep. The next day, Marcus's parents visit the school after being called in about the fight. During their conversation, Anita realizes she knows Marcus's mother from their gymnastics training days. Marcus apologizes for the fight, saying he is against violence and regrets his actions.
Kan jeg si noe?
Ja, absolutt.
Jeg ville lære meg for det som skjedde. Det var feil måte å reagere på. Og jeg veldig imot vold. Jeg synes vold feil.
Ja.
His parents are impressed, but Anita informs them of the school's strict policies. As punishment, Marcus is barred from participating in a school trip to Berlin. His parents are unhappy, but Anita insists the decision is final. During the meeting, Marcus subtly touches Anita with his foot, making her uncomfortable. She abruptly stands up, signaling the end of the discussion. That night, Anita sits in her car, and Marcus joins her. They engage in flirtatious behavior before parting ways. At home, Anita finds herself fantasizing about Marcus. The next day, Anita messages Marcus, thanking him for the previous night and asking to meet again. Marcus declines, explaining he has a match. Anita later browses his Instagram and becomes upset upon seeing him with another girl. Marcus's mother invites Anita to her house, where she meets other women. Marcus arrives after his match and excuses himself to take a shower.
Jeg må dusje, så kos dere.
Anita follows him under the pretense of needing the washroom. She seduces Marcus and they engage in another encounter. The next morning, Anita exercises with her colleague Jay, while secretly chatting with Marcus. At home, Hassie notices Anita is often on her phone but says nothing. At school, Anita takes attendance and learns that Marcus is absent because he is unwell. The next day, Anita's husband, Hassie, takes her to his office and introduces her to his new partner, who is also a lawyer. While the others are chatting, Anita is still messaging Marcus. She tries calling him, but Marcus doesn't answer. Worried, Anita takes her car and drives to Marcus's house. She tells his mother that she came to check on him because she heard he was sick. However, Marcus's mother informs her that he is fine and has gone to school for training.
Det han ikke, nå han på trening.
Ok. Hva slags trening?
Ja, nede på fotballbanen.
Det med skolen?
Ja.
Ja. Ok.
Ja, vi skal på kino, vi nå. Skal vi se den der siste til Almodovar, den der Le Carne de l'Amour?
Ja, med hun Palmo di Rassa.
Jeg bare kjører bort der, så gir jeg rask beskjed. Ja, ikke noe problem.
Anita goes to the school but cannot find Marcus. Eventually, she tracks him down at a shop where he is hanging out with friends. She calls him over to her car and asks if he is dating Mina. Marcus admits, "Yes, I like her." Anita is visibly upset but tries to hide her reaction. After a brief conversation, Marcus leaves, and Anita returns to her husband, who is watching a musical show. During the performance, Anita starts imagining Marcus romantically, and tears come to her eyes. Hassie notices something is off but doesn't confront her. The next day at school, Anita becomes angry when she sees Mina. She sneaks into the changing room, unlocks Mina's phone, and uploads her private photos to Facebook. Quietly leaving, Anita later approaches Mina and feigns concern, asking what happened. Mina tells her that someone has uploaded inappropriate photos of her, which Marcus had taken.
Noen lagde et bilde av meg på Facebook.
Er det sant? Hva slags bilde da?
Et dritstygt nakenbilde.
Uff a meg. Hvem er det som kan ha gjort noe sånt?
Vet ikke. Markus som tok bildet.
Anita pretends to comfort her, saying, "You're a good girl, but I don't think Marcus is the right boy for you." The following day, Anita meets with Marcus's mom and tells her that Mina is not a good girl and that Marcus should stay away from her. Meanwhile, Marcus stops replying to Anita's messages, which makes her furious. She decides to confront him in person. Marcus tells her to stop following him, but Anita insists she has something important to say. She reveals that she is pregnant. Shocked, Marcus doesn't know how to react. Anita shows him an ultrasound of the baby, causing him to panic and cry. She reassures him, saying, "Don't worry, we'll figure something out." Later, Anita seduces Marcus and they engage in another romantic encounter. The next day, after her morning run, Anita comes home and sees an ultrasound copy on the table. She realizes Hassie has discovered her secret and feels overwhelmed. While she's processing this, the doorbell rings. It's Marcus's mom, who angrily warns her, "Stay away from my son or I will kill you." Anita breaks down in tears and runs away. That night, Anita books a hotel room and stays there. The next morning, when she goes back home, Hassie doesn't let her in. She finds a bag left outside and takes it with her. At school, Anita learns that everyone knows about the scandal, and she is expelled. When asked to explain, she says, "This shouldn't have happened, but I have no answers." Outside the school, she sees Hassie's car, but is surprised when Marcus steps out instead. Hassie drives away without talking to her. Marcus approaches Anita and says, "I didn't know it would get this bad. Your husband is a good man, but now you'll need to find someone else to start a family with. You're a good person, and I wish you the best." He then leaves. In the final scene, Anita sits alone in a barren, empty place, filled with regret. The movie ends on this sad note. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.